I feel like there was something I needed to do today. Something important, but I don't remember. This doesn't seem right. Not quite. This definitely doesn't seem right. No. Closer, but I don't think so. This almost feels like it's it. Wait, I know. There we go. Wait, that's better. It is Dapper Day here at Disneyland. So cool to see all of these people dressed up. If you don't know what Dapper Day is, it's kind of like taking a journey back in time. It's just a day to dress up and be in company with other people dressing up. There's no specific date. It's not like necessarily 1955, like it's not opening day. That's kind of what I think a lot of people go for, but you'll see people like 20s, you'll see people in 70s attire, like it spans a lot of decades. I was reading on the website, the person who invented Dapper Day said, I needed to find more places where I could blend in with other dressed up people. That's what makes it cool, is that all of these people are dressing up together. A lot of people will put together a Disney bound, Ariel Disney bound, purple top, green skirt in like a 1950s style. It's still a Disney character. I think the coolest part of Dapper Day is seeing what other people came up with. I saw one girl who was Darla from Finding Nemo. Her shirt was very obviously Darla. She had the Nemo that she shook. Like, it's too cute. The people are doing too good. But then there's the people who are not dressed in a Disney bound that are just doing normal vintage fashion. I think when you think of Disneyland, you're probably trying to wear your leggings, running shoes, maybe like a themed t-shirt, hair in a bun, comfortable and casual. You get to dress up and take cute pictures. Disneyland is like the perfect backdrop. That's why I love Dapper Day. A misconception is that Disneyland puts on Dapper Day, and that's not the case. Dapper Day is an expo that is hosted by Disneyland. So it's hosted in the Disneyland Hotel, happens at Disneyland, but not necessarily Disneyland sponsored. My bound is Wanda Maximoff from episode 1 of WandaVision. I think it's not one that people recognize, which is fine with me. My biggest self-consciousness today has been that like Dapper Day is about dressing up and being really fancy, and the fact that I'm wearing an apron feels like I'm like a housewife at my house. I'm not dressed up enough because I have my casual apron on. I've been taking the apron off. It's kind of funny to think that like literally 12 hours ago, I was sitting at my sewing machine furiously sewing together this apron because I procrastinated it till the last minute. I was sewing it literally last night. I cut out the strap double wide of what I needed so that I could fold it over. Then I cut out what was to be the base part of the skirt. You can tell I'm doing this the night before because I have pin curls in, but I gathered the whole apron and attached it to the waistband. Then I added this hem around the white part of the apron, how hers is, and gathered that and tucked it into the waistband. I feel like someone's gonna ask me like where the forks are or something, just because I have like diner girl collar. Anyways, it's been an eventful day. The first meetup was a Dapper Dan viewing, which I didn't even mean to really see. I kind of stumbled upon it accidentally. It made a lot of sense. All these people gathered to see a performance of the Dapper Dans, which is like, duh. And then at 2, there was the Mark Twain Riverboat meetup, and that was really cool too. The line went all the way to like past Riverbell Terrace, past the popcorn cart. Like the line was really long. It took like 2 full rotations before I got on. I'm like genuinely sad that that's over. I might write it again. Like, just to be in a group of people that you've never met before, but everyone collectively decided, like, I'm gonna put on my Dapper Day outfit, I'm gonna go to Disneyland and I'm gonna ride the Mark Twain at this time. Like, to be in that group, I can't explain it. It's just a really special feeling. I was so grateful to be there. And someone gave me this little Dapper cap keychain. Adorable, so sweet. Everyone was on the one side of the boat that faces Disneyland, all like waving to the people in the dock. And the boat kind of like tipped and they were like, please even out the boat. Like, we're gonna knock it over. It's very, at World's End of us. I started at the Dapper Day Expo, which was really cool. And at the expo, they have the Dapper Day brand dresses that are like an Epcot print. I think their like line right now is Wizard of Oz. But then there was like a bunch of booths that had vintage dresses and vintage reproduction dresses and like skirts and shirts and like bow ties. And then there was also booths that had vintage like matchbooks from Disney World hotels or like vintage postcards, and that was really cool to see like all of that collectible memorabilia. Everything's really like handmade. I was super impressed by how things are made in San Diego, or things are made in Los Angeles, or things are made in Anaheim. So many cool handcrafted things, which like expensive, but to know that someone put that much care into a garment is like why I love to sew. I love knowing that like someone wanted to make this. It wasn't their only choice. I love Dapper Day so much. While many people will buy a costume at like a Dapper Day type of expo or something that they buy online, a major appeal for me and Dapper Day is that I get to make something. Some of my past Disney bounds for Dapper Day include Mirabelle. I did sew this skirt, and then also I sewed this dress for a gelatoni Cookie Ann bound with my friends, which was really fun too. The best thing about Dapper Day is that I get to make something, because I don't get to make a lot of my clothes. I don't have time to make all of my clothes, but when a special occasion arises, it's my chance to try out something new, do new techniques. I love it. I love when I get to make something. I bet you're even wondering how I made this dress. I'm glad you asked. I cut out my favorite bodice pattern and added a couple inches at the front where the button placket would go. Then I added some darts under my bust and another in the armpit and the back. Then I took the collar of a dress that I really like, that doesn't fit me anymore, and traced it onto paper, looking at my reference for how it needed to be altered. And then traced the shape of the smaller part of the collar that I wanted to copy as well. And then cut out my fabric in that pattern, added some interfacing, clipped my corners, and flipped it, tried it on, and I was pretty pleased. Then cut out my smaller pieces that would go on top, flipped those two, ironed them flat, put them all together, and I made some alterations to lower the neck a little bit. Then I had to attach the collar to the neck of the garment. I used a bias tape to tuck in the raw edges. These pins had me feeling like Mike Wazowski. Then I cut out the sleeve a bit shorter because I knew I was going to add some details, and transferred my notches onto the sleeve. I cut out the strips that were going to be the detailing part. I attached them together and folded them how they needed to go to fully enclose the edges of the sleeve, so there would be no raw edges on the inside, and sewed them. The sleeve edge was basically encapsulated by bias tape. Then pretty much attached the sleeve like normal. I can tell that Wanda's is a gingham print, like a white and green sort of cross pattern. You could tell that this is not that. We know what's happening right now. So I couldn't find a gingham, okay? Somebody didn't order it online in enough time. Sue me. I kind of wish that I had done it in black and white, because I think it's not really reading. Like, everyone knows WandaVision in general, but not specifically the costume. Seeing people in like 50s getup is kind of making me understand that these streets were here 70 years ago. This is where people walked. That's the castle that was here. I just love something that's so timeless. I'll say I do wish that Small World was open. That's like a really classic, matches my vintage aesthetic to ride Small World, but I guess we make do. Something that I really love about Dapper Day is that people in their like 70s, like people who remember that when Disneyland opened, and also like little kids, their parents are taking them to experience like this classic place. It's cool. I'm really glad that I went to the expo. I kind of didn't want to because I thought on the last day stuff would be kind of picked over. I'm really glad that I went because this is going to be the last expo at Disneyland. Kind of some controversy surrounding this particular Dapper Day. They had it on April 13th, which is a blockout day for all Magic Keys except for, I think it's Inspire. All other 3 tiers of the pass were blocked out, and people were pretty upset about that. In the past, it's been a fun day for a lot of people who just enjoy Disneyland, enjoy dressing up. A fun day that was kind of not given to everybody. The brand Dapper Day picked this day not knowing that that was going to be a blockout date. A lot of people did not get to participate just because their key was blocked out. Also, I guess however much Disneyland charges to rent the convention space at the Disneyland Hotel is getting really expensive. So they're saying that this particular Dapper Day is probably the last one held at the Disneyland Hotel. So the convention or the like expo part of it will probably be in another location. I think there will still be spring outing and there's a fall outing too. So there will still be dress up and meet in the park, but it just won't be right next door to the convention in the future is what it's sounding like. Now for the skirt portion of the dress, which is arguably the most important part of any vintage silhouette. I measured my waist, and when I saw the edge of my fabric was more than that, I thought I would just have 2 of those, and that would make a 2.5 times gather. So the length that I wanted the dress was 30. I folded the length of the fabric to 30 inches so that that's how long the skirt that I would get would be. I double folded over the bottom hem so that I wouldn't have to do it after it was gathered, and then I also folded over the placket. I measured what the circumference of my garment waist was so that I would know what length I needed to make my gathers into, increased my stitch length, and also decreased my tension. I sew a single line of thread across the top at about 1/4 inch. Then a second line about 1/4 inch from that line to make 2 lines that I can pull the bottom thread or the bobbin thread to create a gather. I keep gathering until I get to the right length that I'm looking for. Then I cut out the pieces that are going to be the outer and inner waistband and attach those to the skirt so that they encapsulate the raw edge. Finally, I take my bodice and I insert it into the little pocket that I just made. I sketch out where the buttons need to go and switch my machine to the zigzag foot so that I can make buttonholes. I cut them open and it's time for the final reveal. Alright, I think that about covers it. There is a carousel meetup at 6-ish, but it's like 5, and I'm pretty sure it's going to take 1,000 years to get through that line. The amount of carousel run-throughs that's going to take is going to be a lot. And I'm not really wearing sensible shoes, my hair is deflating, so I think I'm going to go home, but was a really successful day. I'm really glad that I went. It was a lot of fun. I saw so many cute costumes. So until next time, I'm Ella. I sew things that enchant me, and I'll see you in the next one.